Hello guys, welcome back to my channel and enjoy this fanfic part 1. Now let's start the fanfic. With the 4th Shinobi World War at its end, Naruto Uzumaki and his fellow shinobi comrades have persevered through the impossible. After 3 years, the teamwork of Naruto and Sakura during the last moments of the war pulled Sasuke from the darkness that he had fallen prey to, and little did they know that Itachi Uchiha had also helped Sasuke return to once again the path of light. Not to worry, at some point I will explain how Sasuke returned as a good guy in a later chapter. Indeed, the 4th Shinobi World War was the ultimate test for all the shinobi from all nations. Therefore, new friendships were made as well as romantic relations between shinobi that had already had that chemistry within them. Neji and Tenten were the first to realize on just how important each other are to one another while fighting alongside each other in a life and death situation war. The 5th Mizukage Terumi and the Sand Village's Kazekage Gaara also underwent feelings for each other during their war with Madara Uchiha and the Susanoo army. Shortly after the war was concluded, Temari and Shikamaru finally gave in to each other by kissing in front of their longtime friends during the celebration of their victory. Ino and Sai followed after the two, which was a greater shock to Naruto since he thought Sai was gay, thinking on how he misunderstood Sai's tenderness act. Kakashi had a one-sided relationship with Karen, with of course Karen being the one who's been trying to pursue a relationship by trying to entice Kakashi countless times. In the end, it was Sakura who gave its last push to bring Sasuke out of the darkness and into the light, and in doing so, she finally had received the same love and recognition that she had felt for Sasuke from Sasuke himself. During the celebration festival, Naruto made a daring move and proposed to Hinata after he had asked for everyone's attention by saying these exact words. "Hinata, for so long I have looked at you as a dear friend, but I've come to realize that you more than just that friend. You risked your very life for me during the battle with pain, and you confessed your love, and believe it, it was a shock to me. So now, I stand before you to tell you that I love you too, and it would honor me if you will be my wife." Hinata had stood there seemingly frightened, but was actually in disbelief and happiness. She answered with 3 yes before passing out from being completely overwhelmed with mixed feelings thanks to Naruto. Knowing full well that Naruto had previously loved Sakura, Sakura herself knew that Hinata was the one who could give Naruto what she could never give to him, and was the first to shed happy tears while applauding the engagement of Naruto Uzumaki and Hinata Hyuga. While everyone else was happy for Naruto and Hinata, Kiba was the least happiest since he had feelings for Hinata but always knew that she had always been in love with Naruto, and so he had made his peace with it. 2 months had passed since the war's end, and now the marriage will take place in the heart of the Leaf Village. Konoha Leaf Village. Naruto had invited all of the friends he made during his long adventure to his wedding day that was to take part in the streets of the village. Only Naruto would throw a wedding in the middle of the street. What a drag. Shikamaru said in his usual tone. Still, you have to hand to him for being original. I never pictured Naruto to be a husband, but it's happening. Temari walked towards her boyfriend. Yeah, guess it can't be helped. Shikamaru replied. Come on, give him at least a little credit. Even a goofball like Naruto has his moments. Ino responded to Temari's comment while clinging on to Sai's arm. Ino's right. Guess I'll cut him a break. Shikamaru said. I have to admit though, you look handsome in your tux. Temari bit her bottom lip. You too, Sai. Ino complimented on her boyfriend. Would you stop that? Shikamaru and Sai blushed from embarrassment. Looks like we made it in time. Gaara involving himself in the conversation as he arrived with his girlfriend Mei and Kankuro. Hey dude, did you forget your tux? Shikamaru asked Gaara. As Kazekage, I must attend to any formal gathering in Kazekage clothing. Gaara explained with a slight blush. It says anytime you are invited to a wedding, that you are to dress formally in regards to the bride and groom. Sai said while reading out of one of his books. I'm sure Naruto and Hinata will understand. Gaara said. So is this where everyone is meeting at, or what? Kiba asked as he arrived with Shino, Rock Lee, Choji and Tenten all in their tuxes and bridesmaid clothing identical to Ino, Temari, Shikamaru and Sai. Hey everyone, Tenten greeted. Got to hand it to Naruto for decorating the entire village for his day. Rock Lee commented as he eyeballed the decorations. That moron went too far making a mockery of our village. Shino remarked as bugs went all over his body bugging everyone out. Relax Shino, it's actually not too bad for a change. Choji said. Says you. Shino said. Anyway, so where is Naruto and Hinata? Kiba asked. Probably still getting ready. Hinata left early from spending the night at my house with Sakura. Ino said. Well, we're still early, we have 2 hours. Sai recalls. I guess we should kill time by chatting with the rest of the guests. Tenten suggested. Right, let's go. Kiba agreed. Meanwhile at Sakura's house, Hinata had just put the finishing touches of her makeup and hair do by Kurenai and Sakura. Wow. Just beautiful like I envisioned. You look great, Hinata. Sakura smiled. You really do look beautiful, Hinata. Kurenai also smiles. Thank you Sakura and Kurenai-sensei. Hinata graciously bows her head. It makes me all the more proud to be your maid of honor. Sakura said. You can imagine how happy I am for you Hinata that you're taking a huge step in life and I wish you nothing but the best. Kurenai sheds a tear. Kurenai-sensei, you are the closest of being my mother and I'm happy you can be here to witness my wedding day. Hinata hugs her teacher. I wonder what Naruto is doing. Sakura thought as she looks out the window. At the same moment Sakura was wondering about Naruto. Naruto was at his house with Neji waiting on Sasuke. Hee. Naruto snickered. What is so funny? Neji asked with a small blush thinking Naruto was making fun of on how he looks in his tux. It's Sasuke, I wanna see how Sasuke looks. Naruto continued to giggle like a girl. You're hopeless. Neji places his hand on his forehead. Damn it. Naruto, I'm not going out in this ridiculous clothing, forget it. Sasuke said from the restroom. Oh come on Sasuke, a promise is a promise. Naruto said. All right, fine. Sasuke replied and started getting dressed. Naruto. Neji said. What's up? Naruto answered. Aside from the fact that I'm extremely happy that you're marrying Hinata, I want to tell you one thing not as your good friend but as Hinata's relative. Neji spoke in a more serious tone. I'm listening. Naruto wised up and listened. Naruto, it took you to make me realize I was wrong. I was on how I treated Hinata back in the Chunin exams, but know this, I will not allow you to mistreat her in any way because I will stop you myself. Neji said. Neji, I get what you're saying, I promise to protect her with my life and to give her a happy life. You know I never go back on my words because it's my ninja way. Naruto said. Glad to hear it, brother. Neji shook Naruto's hand out of deep respect. Are you happy now, Naruto? Sasuke comes out of the restroom in his tux with a huge blush of embarrassment. The sight of Sasuke in a light creamy yellow tux with long-sleeved black collared shirt underneath as opposed to the rest of the guys wearing normal black tuxedos made Naruto laugh really hard. Would you knock it off, you jackass? Sasuke yelled. Sasuke, you look like an Oreo. Naruto laughed uncontrollably. Naruto, just wait. Sasuke gritted his teeth. Kakashi and Guy arrived in time to see Sasuke, Naruto and Neji in their tuxes. Check out the boys Kakashi, don't touch them because they are too sharp. Guy said with his usual thumbs up pose. Guy and Kakashi sensei. Naruto greeted. Guy, enough with the corny jokes already. Kakashi begged as if he had been hearing them all day. But you boys do look presentable, are you ready Naruto? Kakashi asked. You bet. Naruto said. Then let's get you married. Kakashi places his hands on Naruto's shoulders. Guy, you ready huh where'd he go? Kakashi said. Hey who's that handsome guy? Guy looks in mirror pointing at himself while Naruto, Neji, Kakashi and Sasuke watched. Anbu Black Ops, we have an emergency. Guy said and almost immediately a couple of Anbu Black Ops members show up at Naruto's house. What's the emergency, Guy? One of the Black Ops asked. They're a very handsome guy in this house, wait cancel that it's only me. Guy joked with his signature smile. That has got to be the most stupidest joke I ever heard. Sasuke thought with an annoyed expression. I should have known, he's been joking all day. Kakashi thought with the same expression as Sasuke. One of these days, there's going to be a real emergency and we're not coming. The other Black Ops member said and disappeared with the first one. All right, shall we? Guy letting Naruto know he's ready. You bet, sensei. Naruto agreed and left his house with Kakashi, Neji, Guy and Sasuke. Tonight is the night I make you mine, Kakashi. Karen peeps over in Naruto's window glaring at Kakashi as he walks. Naruto rejoices with his guests that came from the Sand Village all the way to the Land of Waves and Rain Village. Are you ready for your big day, Naruto? Tsunade said. Sure am, Grandma Tsunade, thanks for coming. Naruto smiles. Would you please stop calling me that? Tsunade said with annoyed expression. But I can't help it. Naruto said. I wonder if Hinata is ready. Naruto thought to himself, then suddenly got spooked by Yamato's ghoul expression. I said, are you ready to get married? Yamato said as if he was repeating his question to Naruto while still freaking Naruto out. Yes, now please change that look. Naruto said with the beady white eyes. Naruto over here. Sakura called over as she was talking with Sasuke. What's up? Naruto said. Don't you look handsome? Hinata's ready, so gather all the groomsmen so we can start. Sakura said. Right. Naruto said and left. After Naruto gathered all groomsmen, he walked up to the altar to begin the process. Sasuke as the best man escorts the maid of honor Sakura to the altar. Neji escorts Tenten, Shikamaru escorts Tamari, Sai escorts Ino, Gaara escorts Tsunade, Kakashi escorts the pregnant Kurenai and Konohamaru escorts Hanabi. Naruto's parents Minato and Kushina along Hinata's mother, Asuma, Jiraiya and the third Hokage used whatever chakra the afterlife gave them to see the wedding with smiles on their faces from the heavens. Now as we conclude the ceremony, I ask that Naruto, do you take Hinata Hyuga as your wife and promise to love her in sickness and in health? The minister asked. With all due respect, sir, do you mind if I make my vows to Hinata? Naruto requested. As you wish. The minister said. Hinata, if anybody were to tell me that I would be marrying you, I would have never believed them, not because you're not good enough but because you're one of my best friends. Naruto began. My entire opinion of you has changed for the better. Now I don't just see you as my best friend, but I also see you as my loving wife, and I will guarantee to you I will give you a happy life. I love you and I do. Naruto finished. Hinata began to weep happy tears as the guests as well as the groomsmen and bridesmaids felt touched by Naruto's words. Naruto, since I met you I always admired you and held you in the highest regard. When we parted ways for 3 years, then we reunited, I quickly realized I was now deeply in love with you. Hinata said. Though I was in love with you, I had always been shy and usually would pass out if you so much as say hi. Hinata said, making everyone including Naruto chuckle a little. But when I saw you in the face of danger, I was prepared to give my life for you and I was no longer afraid to confess my feelings for you at all, and so I do take you as my husband and I promise to love you and be the best wife I can be for you, Naruto. Hinata said. Rings, please. The minister said, giving the cue for Konohamaru and Hanabi to give the rings to Naruto and Hinata. Naruto and Hinata gently placed rings on each other's fingers. Naruto, you may kiss the bride. The minister said. Naruto places both hands gently on Hinata's fair-skinned face and kissed her. The friends of Hinata and Naruto clapped tremendously in celebration of the first of their generation to be married and commenced with the reception. Naruto and his groomsmen had set up tables throughout the whole street as they prepared to have dinner before dancing. Great. I'm starving, Shikamaru said, which caught Sai's attention. Just hold on a little longer, try not to die out of starvation. Sai took Shikamaru's statement literally. Dude, you gotta be kidding me. Shikamaru replied with a rhetorical tone. That's why I love him. Ino said. The village's chefs chose to offer their service to Naruto free of charge due to gratitude for their hero and began to pass out either curry or egg omelette with the side of rice. Your favorite. The chef of Naruto's favorite ramen restaurant placed a bowl of his favorite ramen. Awesome. Barbecue pork ramen, thanks old man. Naruto enthused. Bad memories. Neji said looking at his curry. Tenten, trade me. Neji said. No way babe, I got omelets. Tenten said. Damn, Naruto trade me. Neji called out. Oh did you want some? Here you go Neji. Naruto grabbed a stickful and dumped some noodles on Neji's curry. Not what I meant, dumbass. Neji thought with disgusted expression. Sasuke stood up and used his chopstick to hit his glass to get everyone's attention. Huh? Got something to say, Sasuke? Naruto asked with noodles in his mouth. I'd like to take the time as the best man to express on what this day personally means to me. Sasuke announced as everybody paid attention. For the longest time there was a loser named Naruto Uzumaki who basically messed up everything he touched and couldn't get a damn thing right. Sasuke said, which caused Naruto to choke on his noodles. Sasuke, what are you doing? Are you trying to embarrass me, you bastard? Naruto thought as he shed a tear while choking. Yep, he was a screw-up. Sasuke continually casually said, I can't argue there. Ino agreed, as did most of the other friends of Naruto that were in his class. Aside from all jokes, this is the man who never quit on me. I admit I was a changed man to everyone but Naruto, and for that I thank him. Sasuke looked seriously towards Naruto. Naruto was the reason my eyes opened to see that another special person didn't give up on me, my beloved Sakura, and together they gave me reason to exist any further. And so, Naruto and Hinata, I wish you two nothing but the best for the many years you will have together. Sasuke raised his glass to show respect to Naruto and Hinata. Thank you, my friend. Sasuke said as Naruto shed a happy tear. Sasuke. Sakura thought, feeling that she herself couldn't have said it better. Well said Sasuke, and welcome back. Ino said. People began to clap at Sasuke's speech and saw that Gaara stood up to give his speech as well. If it is all well, then I too wish to give recognition to the newlyweds. Gaara said. Hinata, I may not know you well, but I could tell by your eyes that you are a kind person equal to that of Naruto, and I couldn't be happier for what the future holds for you. Gaara said. Naruto is a dear friend of mine who pulled me out of the darkness, and for that I'm indebted to him. I wish you both eternal happiness and many blessings in your new life together. Gaara raised his glass. Naruto stood up with his glass raised and began to speak. Thank you Gaara. Sasuke, it means a lot to me and Hinata for your heartfelt speeches, and now I'd to thank you all for coming to celebrate the marriage between me and my beautiful bride. Now on to the reception. Naruto called for a cheer and his guests drank to it. After all tables have been cleared, music began to play throughout the village. Some guests chose to dance while others drank sake when socializing. Hey Lee, care for some sake? Ino asked. Oh no thanks, I shouldn't. I'll just stick to water. Rock Lee politely declines and shows his cup of water. Lee can't hold his liquor, so it's a drag to even ask. Shikamaru said while taking a sip of his sake. Huh, isn't that too bad? Tamari said. Woohoo. Kiba slams his shot glass on the counter of the outside bar for another shot. Damn bro, how many have you had? Shikamaru asked. He's on his fifth glass, we're just barely getting to our third. Choji said and referred to himself, Shino and Sai. Apparently this guy can put his alcohol away like water. Sai refers to Kiba. Yeah, water just like mom used to make. Kiba said as Ino, Sakura, Choji, Shikamaru and Tamari looks at him weird. Woof, woof. Akamaru barks at Kiba. Dogs shouldn't get wasted. Kiba wiggles his index finger. Enjoying the party, Sasuke? Hinata asked. Yeah, not too bad. Sasuke replied. I know it means a lot to Naruto that you're here, and it means a lot to me too. Hinata smiles. Thanks. Sasuke said. There you are Hinata, I was looking for you. Naruto appears with Sakura. You too, Sasuke. Sakura said. I'm sorry Naruto, I wanted to thank Sasuke for coming. Hinata said. No big deal, I want a dance with my wife. Naruto smiles. Oh Naruto. Hinata thought while blushing. Try not to faint, okay? Naruto teased as he brought Hinata closer to dance. Hee. Oh Naruto. Hinata places her head in Naruto's chest and begins to slow dance. As Hinata and Naruto danced for a little while longer, Kakashi appears between the two. Kakashi-sensei, Naruto said. Sorry, Hinata, will it be a problem if I borrow Naruto? Kakashi asked. Oh no, not at all. Hinata smiles and starts to chat with Tenten. You're mine, you're not going anywhere. Karen jumped to catch Kakashi but hit the floor face first instead. Huh, what was that? Naruto asked as he and Kakashi turned around. Don't know. Kakashi said and continued to walk with Naruto while Karen twitches in the ground. Kakashi lead Naruto away from the street onto the entrance of the village. So what's up, sensei? Why'd you drag me here? Naruto asked and saw Tsunade with Shizune coming from a small distance. Shizune and Grandma Tsunade. Naruto said. Naruto. Tsunade answered. What's going on? Naruto asked. I've come to inform you that I will be resigning as Hokage soon and I want to personally tell you who will be my successor as my gift to you. Tsunade said. You're resigning as Hokage, why? Naruto wondered. I've decided to step down because I have reached my full potential of what I could do for this village. Tsunade said. What are you talking about, old lady Tsunade? You've been a great Hokage, why step down? Naruto began feel a little angry. Because I know somebody who would do a much better job than I, someone who was destined to be Hokage. Tsunade tried to give Naruto a hint. Who's Tsunade who? Naruto asked. Could you be more oblivious? She's talking about you, Naruto. Kakashi revealed, which put Naruto in a shock. 1 second. Kakashi said. I'm coming for you, honey. Karen charges for Kakashi but hits the nearby tree face first after Kakashi sidesteps her at the last second. Kakashi? Who was that? Shizune asked. Don't know, but whoever that was, my guess is that's the same person that's been pursuing me recently. Kakashi shrugs. He doesn't even acknowledge me. Karen thought as a river of tears come down her face due to frustration. Oh, I see. Shizune said with slight jealousy. If you say so. Tsunade said after noticing Shizune's jealousy and then reverts her attention back to Naruto. Naruto. Tsunade calls. Ho Hokage. Naruto quietly said and then finally snaps. Hokage. Naruto yells. Do you mean I'm the Hokage? How? I'm still not even a Chunin. Naruto screams. It's clear to me due to your efforts by now you've already exceeded both beyond the ranks of a Chunin and a Jonin, Naruto. Tsunade said. More importantly, you've put your life on the line to save this village countless times, that alone makes you eligible for the job. Tsunade said. Grandma Tsunade. Naruto buries his eyes into his left forearm as he weeps. So what do you say, Naruto? Will you accept this proposal? Will you be given the name that carries the will of all of your people? Will you become the very same rank of ninja you craved for since your years of youth, Hokage? Tsunade said as Naruto remembers all the times of him being a ninja and his hard work to achieve his dream. I will be Hokage someday, believe it. Young Naruto said with his right fist in the air. Grandma Tsunade. I mean Lady Tsunade, it would be an honor to finally take that place as the 6th Hokage. Naruto accepts Tsunade's offer. As Kakashi and Shizune as the sole witnesses, I hereby step down as current Hokage and name you, Naruto Uzumaki, the new Hokage. Tsunade grants Naruto his title of Hokage. Yes, I did it, I'm the new Hokage. Naruto screams for joy. Congratulations, Naruto. Kakashi applauds with Tsunade and Shizune. The youngest Hokage in history. Shizune said. Just wait till Hinata and everyone else hears. Naruto quickly dashes into the village. As usual, he jumps the gun. Tsunade said with small beads of sweat showing in the back of her head. Well, you know him, my lady. Shizune said. Naruto entered the village at first looking for Hinata but saw Kiba instead. Kiba, guess what? I'm Hokage. Naruto relays the news to a drunk Kiba first. That's nothing new, I already knew that. Kiba said. Huh? What do you mean you already knew? Naruto asked after hearing of what seemed old news to Kiba. Tenten, I'm Hokage. Naruto tells Tenten next, who was also drunk. Hiccup, yeah, I already knew that. Tenten also said in the same tone. What, you gotta be kidding me? Naruto cried. Naruto asked his same question to Neji, Shino, Sakura, Shikamaru, Ino, Sai, Rock Lee, Might Guy, Gaara and finally Sasuke, but they all gave the same answers as Kiba and Tenten. How? How does everyone know? Naruto cried. Lady Tsunade wanted it to be a surprise from you until the wedding, so she told us and wanted us to keep a secret. Sakura said after she heard Naruto's plea. What? Naruto shouts. I for one am especially proud, Naruto. Hinata said. Hinata. Naruto smiles as he watches his newly wedded wife make her way towards him. When I learned from Miss Tsunade that you were to be named the new Hokage, my heart smiled for you. Hinata said, standing in front of Naruto. Nobody here deserved that spot more than you, Naruto. You made yourself the new Hokage by going by your famous motto. Hinata continued as Naruto was at a loss for words. I never give up. I never go back on my word because that is my ninja way. Hinata said simultaneously with a young Naruto Uzumaki that appeared next her as a visual image. Oh Hinata. Naruto looked down with tears of overwhelmed joy. Naruto, believe me when I speak for everyone that I was incredibly happy for you and I look forward to serve under you, Hokage. Ino bows her head. Ino's right, I was thrilled for you bro, you deserved it. Kiba meant his words despite he was drunk. Here's for a new fellow Kage and this village's new Hokage. Gaara raised his glass. I couldn't agree more. Mei raises her glass. Well, looks like you did it, you loser. Sasuke thought with a genuine smile. Hell yeah. Kiba grabbed Rock Lee's water and drank. What the? Kiba said while everyone drank to Naruto and saw Rock Lee with his accidental swap drink. Lee. No. Kiba yelled but was too late. Huh. Bushy brow. Naruto noticing Rock Lee was getting flimsy. Oh hell. Now there's trouble. Neji thought. Eru. Rock Lee went from flimsy to jumping around uncontrollably on the tables. What's with him? Sakura asked. The idiot can't hold his liquor, which means somebody gave him a drink. Shino said. All right, whose fault is it? Neji said. Does it matter? We have to stop him. Tamari chimed in. What's wrong with him, Naruto? Hinata asked in a concerned tone. He must have accidentally had something to drink. Bushy brow can't handle it. Naruto explained. What a strange ritual, can't quite understand what it means. Sai watches Rock Lee smashes his head with pans. Babe, now's not the time, we have to stop him. Ino said. Awaka. Giggity. Giggity. Rock Lee air humps. All right, you asked for it. Hiccup. Tenten said, spinning around with her scrolls to summon blades but instead slips and falls asleep from her being drunk. Sai. Grab him will you? Sakura yells as Sai's drawn snakes keep failing to capture Lee. I'm trying. Sai argues back. Hey, what's your problem man? Rock Lee drunkenly said. Guy-sensei, do something about him. Ino said. Lee, do your best. Guy also drunkenly said, giving the thumbs. It's hopeless. Sakura said. Ooh yeah, enjoying the reception party of Hinata and Naruto Uzumaki. Congratulations to my boy who just became Hokage. Killer Bee raps but gets interrupted by Rock Lee bumping into him. Get back here. Kiba said, chasing after Lee with Sai, Sakura, Ino, Choji, Shikamaru and Tamari. No, I don't wanna. Rock Lee runs. Come on. Settle down bushy brow. Naruto said, joining the chase. I know this fool didn't try to bust my flow. I'm about to catch him and make his chew glass out the window. Killer Bee continues to rap as he too chases Rock Lee. That's your brother, dude. Kankuro said to the Raikage as he places his hand on his forehand. Naya. 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 Do. Rock Lee taunts then hits face first on a sand wall by Gaara. Fire style. Fireball jutsu. Sasuke engulfs Rock Lee in fire to burn a little sense into him. Rock Lee screams a little, falls and is caught by Shino's bugs. What a moron. Shino comments and commands his bugs to drop Rock Lee. Great. I got showed up by Sasuke on my own wedding. Naruto said. You took a while to detain him, so Gaara and I stepped in. Sasuke said. Sasuke's so cool and he's my boyfriend. Sakura cheers. Tenten, are you alright? Neji shakes Tenten to wake her up. Neji. Tenten suddenly wakes and drags Neji away quickly with lustful intentions. What's going on with those two? Naruto watched and dropped his jaw to what he was seeing. Ino grabs Sai's crotch and forces him to her house. Temari comes from behind and wraps her arms around Shikamaru's neck, then pulls him amorously to his house. Aw man, not again. This is a drag. Shikamaru not really putting up a fight due to his laziness, making it easy for Temari. Hey you, want to meet me in my dad's shop? Ayame approaches Kiba with her hands nervously fidgeting. Sure. What for? Kiba asks. I want to know you better mentally and physically. Ayame being forward. Oh well sure. Be back in 20 minutes Akamaru. Kiba said. 30. Ayame said and pulls Kiba to her dad's ramen shop. What is everyone doing? Naruto wondering if what he is seeing is a dream. Oh Sasuke, let's go to bed. Sakura said seductively while tugging Sasuke to her house. Hey wait. Stop. Sasuke trying to resist. Sasuke and Sakura too. Naruto said. Let's rent a hotel for night, darling. May the Mizukage licks Gaara on his neck. Oh huh. Well. Gaara blushes slightly from May being forward with him. If you wanna score, now's the time bro. Kankuro chuckles while whispering in Gaara's ear. Now it's Gaara. Naruto said. Come here. Shizune quickly pulls down Kakashi's mask to kiss him. Wow. That was sudden. Kakashi said as he approves of Shizune's advances. The Hokage office is free, I want you there now. Shizune whispers while blushing. Let's go. Kakashi leads Shizune to the office. What? Even Kakashi-sensei? Naruto freaks out. And he's even got his mask off. Sasuke, Sakura. Naruto points and looks around for Sasuke and Sakura. Naruto saw in shock from Sakura's window that her legs were in the air as she was getting by Sasuke. Naruto. Hinata comes from behind and wraps her arms around his waist. Hinata. What's with everyone? It's like they're all the girls want to have. Naruto said. Maybe it isn't such a bad idea, honey. Hinata going a little out of character, which surprised Naruto the most. What? You mean you want to have? Naruto stutters and sees Hinata slowly nod her head as she bits her bottom lip. What's with all the women getting all cheeky, they showing this brother that they wanna be wild and freaky. Killer bee raps. As long as you're ready. Naruto finally accepts. I saved myself only for you. Hinata follows Naruto into his house as the guests continued to party. Naruto, my boy, show that girl that beast that resides inside ya hide. Killer bee raps. Naruto's house. Naruto gently lays Hinata on his bed, kisses her neck, undoing her dress, and even though it was his and Hinata's first time, he knew what to do. Let's start a family, Naruto. Hinata whispered while feeling hot and wet in her. I'm ready, Naruto said after revealing to Hinata his raging hard member. Naruto pulls down Hinata's panties and slowly inserts his into her vagina, making Hinata to react with sounds of pleasure. It's so warm. Naruto thought as he was feeling the heat sensation from Hinata's. Naruto began to pound on her, slow at first then faster and faster. Hinata began to breathe in a UAL manner while her takes punishment from Naruto's member. This is the best feeling in my life. Naruto thought while placing one of Hinata's legs on his shoulder. It feels so good, I can't take it anymore. Naruto feeling that his climax is near. Naruto. Hinata screaming as she climaxes. Oh god. Naruto shoots a heavy load inside Hinata. I'm still hard. Naruto said, acknowledging his still not satisfied. Let me finish it. Hinata gets into the all fours position. With pleasure. Naruto again inserts his into Hinata and has one leg on the bed. Naruto has stamina. Hinata thought as takes a more pleasurable feeling than before. Naruto right off the bat starts pumping fast and fondles with Hinata's S. Her S are so soft. Naruto continues to fondle Hinata's S. His to deep inside me, I don't know if I can last another round. Hinata thought as she moans louder with each pump from Naruto. Oh man, this is it. I can't last much longer. Naruto thought as he felt that a much larger load than the last was coming. Naruto, Naruto. Hinata moaned loudly. Hinata, Hinata. Naruto moaned likewise. Naruto shot a much heavier load than the last inside Hinata like a high-pressured water hose. Naruto and Hinata laid beside each other on Naruto's bed catching their breath from incredible. That was amazing, Naruto. Hinata placed her head on Naruto's chest. It truly was. Naruto said and kissed Hinata's forehead. Look, Naruto. Hinata points at the beautiful fireworks outside Naruto's window. What a way to end this memorial night. I have everything I wanted. I have Sasuke back. I'm Hokage and I got married to one of my best friends and my beautiful wife, Hinata Hyuga. Naruto smiled. Hinata Uzumaki. Hinata corrected with a smile. Rock Lee's house. Sometime after the wedding and everybody got laid, Rock Lee returns to his home with a huge headache. Aw man, never again. Rock Lee rubs his head. Karen suddenly appears in his house only wearing a towel with no glasses. Huh? Who are you? What are you doing in my house? Rock Lee asks while blushing at Karen's nice figure. I needed to shower, hope you didn't mind. Karen took off her towel and dabbed her hair revealing her. Ah, Rock Lee oozed out blood from his nose. Listen, I need somewhere to stay after all. You are one of Naruto's friends, right? Karen asked with a sly smile. That is correct. Rock Lee covers his nose. Great. So what do you say? Will you help little helpless me? Karen places Rock Lee's hand on her. Rock Lee passes out from a shooting nosebleed and lies unconscious. I take that as a yes. Karen smiled. He is pretty cute. Karen giggles and takes Rock Lee to bed. 12 years have passed since Naruto and Hinata's wedding day. They now have a young 12-year-old daughter who was named after Naruto's mother. The young girl's name is Kushina Uzumaki. Kushina takes the appearance of a female version of Naruto, the same hair color as Hinata, retains Naruto's whiskers, inherits Naruto's eyes and keeps her hair in a low ponytail that extends to shoulder length. She has personality traits of both of her parents such as her kindness from Hinata, but most of her traits relate to Naruto, which often cancels out the sweet side in Hinata's nature. Hokage office. Oh no, I'm running late. Kushina rushes to the door. Kushina, Kushina. Hinata calls from the dinner table. Yes, mother. Kushina replied while running in place. What's the rush, darling? It's still early. Hinata walks over to Kushina. I know it's early, mother, but I have to get to school before Jin. Kushina said, still running in place. Well, at least have breakfast before you go. Hinata said. No time. I can't lose to that jerk Jin. Kushina said. That's the spirit. Kushi. Naruto appears calling his daughter by nickname. Father. Kushina greeted. Now go show Jin who's boss. Naruto places his hand on top of Kushina's hair. I will. I love you, mother and father. Kushina runs quickly out the house leaving behind dust. Good luck on your final exam, sweetie. Hinata said. That's my daughter. Naruto doing his usual smile. Reminds me of the days you and Sasuke constantly trying to outdo each other. Hinata said with a small laugh as she sat back down on the table. Haha, you think so? Naruto scratches the side of his head. Our daughter is the same spitting image as you, honey. Hinata said. That may be true, but she will always be beautiful to me like you are, Hinata. Naruto walks and kisses Hinata on the forehead. Oh Naruto. Hinata smiles. Kushina runs through the village in dashing speed in hopes to make it to the academy first before her rival. I will not lose to him. Kushina thought as she continued to run through the village. Kushina made it to the academy and was impressed by her own speed. That's got to be a record, eat that Jin. Kushina said as she was catching her breath. I already did, loser. A voice said, which caused Kushina to have those white beady eyes. Jin, what the? How the hell did you get here? Kushina yells at a cool and calm Jin. Jin is the son of Sasuke and Sakura Uchiha that greatly resembles Sasuke in every way, in looks and in hairstyle, with the addition that he has 2 more bangs to cover his forehead and shares a rivalry against Kushina. Easy. I woke up and just walked here. I figured there's no need to waste time on you even if you are the daughter of the Hokage. Jin said as he walks away to inside the academy. What? Kushina clenches her fists and stomps the ground. Easy cuz, you shouldn't let Jin get the better of you. A young male voice was heard. Yeah, but Jin is so cool and incredibly cute. A female voice said next. Kushina turns to see her cousins that were born to Neji and Tenten, Rin and Kurumu Hyuga. Rin is young male who greatly resembles his father, Neji, while his twin sister Kurumu resembles their mother, Tenten, and they also retain the eyes of the Hyuga clan. Whatever Kurumu, and Rin, I can't help it, he gets under my skin every day. Kushina said as flame substitutes the pupils in her eyes. Well, if you ask me, I wouldn't bother with the trouble cause it's such a drag. A young female's voice said. The young female's voice is named Tenma, the daughter of Shikamaru and Tamari, who resembles her mother but maintains her father's personality and is also Kushina's best friend. So you think he's a jerk too? Kushina asked. He's a cute jerk. Tenma said. You too. Kushina shouted. Relax, Kushina. We know you have your opinions about him, but how come you're the only one that's not attracted to him? Kurumu asked. How can anyone fall for a jerk like him? Kushina said. It's time we head inside or we'll be late. Rin said. Rin's right, let's drop that subject please. Kushina walks inside the academy with Rin, Kurumu and Tenma. Konoha Academy. Shortly after finishing the final exams, the students await for Aruka to review and for him to select who will be Genin. Hey Kushina, I heard Jin bested you again. A girl with blonde hair spoke. Shut up, Sia. He just got lucky this time. Kushina said, then glares at Jin. Oh, enough sis. That's all I ever hear you talk about. You're always oh Jin this and Jin that. Put a lid on it. A boy with short black hair said. Thank you, Kazuharu. Kushina said. Kazuharu is the older sibling of his year younger sister Sia, who both are children of Sai and Ino and also retains their mother's maiden surname since Sai has none. Kazuharu resembles Sai but has Ino's personality, and Sia resembles Ino but has Sai's personality and has the tendency to work on Kushina's nerves, while Kazuharu tends to stay on Kushina's good side. Kushina looks around and sees a young boy with gray hair and wears a mask to cover his mouth. That boy is always quiet, whatever his name is. Kushina points to the boy. You mean, Obito Hatake? Tenma answers. Yeah, him. Kushina replies. Obito Hatake is the son of Kakashi and Shizune Hatake and is named after Kakashi's fallen comrade. Obito also greatly resembles his father without of course the Sharingan on his left eye and usually keeps to himself. Yeah, I hear he's the son of copy ninja who's a jonin in this village and was once considered to be a prodigy in his generation. A boy with spiky brown hair and 2 red mark tattoos on each cheek said. You know of him, Karasuma. Kushina replies to the boy with a small puppy on his head. Karasuma is the son of Kiba and Ayame Inuzuka, and like his father he has a ninja hound named Akaru. Karasuma looks exactly like Kiba but also has great cooking skills like his mother Ayame, and he also has a small crush on Kushina. Excuse me buddy, but can you keep your bugs away from me? A black-haired bowl-cut style boy asked. Sorry, but it seems as though they act on their own. A tall boy with black glasses that keeps his collar up high to cover his mouth replied. Are Shigeo's bugs bothering Jet Li again? Kushina asked. Yep. Afraid so. A chubby boy eating chips answered. Chorizo, you're really eating at a time like this? Tenma said to the chubby boy. Jet Li is the son of Karen and Rock Lee, who's named after a famous Asian action star. Jet Li retains his father's looks and discipline while also having a little mischievous side from his mother. Shigeo Aburame is the son of Shino and a U-named mother that inherits his father's skill of housing insects into his body in exchange for incredible and unique jutsu. Shigeo is strict on rules and is generally friendly towards everybody but also can sometimes get on people's nerves. Chorizo is the son of Choji Akamichi and a U-named mother and is named after a Mexican sausage. Chorizo's appearance is very much like his father's and also has the bad case of the munchies, which makes up for another unique jutsu. Seriously, Chorizo, can you chew any louder? Why can't you stay quiet like Obito or that Asuma kid? Kurumu said. Asuma Sarutobi Jr. is the son of Kurenai and the late Asuma Sarutobi that looks exactly like Asuma did in his youth and has the eye color of Kurenai. I'm sorry, but a guy's gotta eat. Chorizo apologized. You're hopeless. Kurumu said. All right, students, the results are in and I will call the following names that have graduated to Genin. Iruka said as he enters the class. Finally, I'm anxious. Kushina thought. Okay, when I call your name please make your way here. Iruka said and took a look at his paper. Jin Uchiha. Iruka called out. Sasuke's and Sakura's kid looks a lot like Sasuke. Iruka thought as Jin walks towards him. Jin is so cool. Kurumu said. Just whose side are you on? Kushina said with an annoyed expression. Rin and Kurumu Hyuga. Iruka called. Those two have promise, exactly what I expect out of the Hyuga clan. Iruka thought as the twins come to him. Obito Hatake. Iruka called. His skills are as impressive as he looks like his father. Iruka thought as Obito quietly walks to him. Sia and Kazuharu Yamanaka. Iruka called. Another gifted siblings. Iruka thought as the two come his way. Asuma Sarutobi Jr. Iruka called. Extremely gifted like his father before him. Iruka thought as he smiles to Asuma Jr. Karasuma Inuzuka. Iruka called. Very talented like his father. Iruka thought. Tenma Nara. Iruka called. Could very well be smarter than her genius father. Iruka thought. Jet Li. Iruka called. I wonder if this kid is hard worker like his father, only time will tell. Iruka thought. Shigeo Aburame. Iruka called. Weird but skilled nonetheless. Iruka thought. Chorizo Akamichi. Iruka called. I wouldn't underestimate this kid. Iruka thought. Now last but certainly not least, the Hokage's daughter Kushina Uzumaki. Iruka called. What last? Kushina said. HMPH, sounds about right. Jin teased. Shut up, Jin. Kushina yells. Whatever, I would think being the daughter of Hokage would at least get you to a higher rank than dead last. Jin said. Why you? Kushina grew red in the face. That was uncalled for, Jin. Rin said. All right, that enough, you three. Iruka steps in. Jin, I wouldn't be underestimating her because it just so happens her father, the Hokage, was also picked last and look where he's at now. Iruka said. HMPH. Jin scoffs. Oh boy, this is certainly deja vu like with Naruto and Sasuke. Iruka said. All right, this the graduating class that have been selected to be Genin, so be here tomorrow at 8 a.m. sharp for the graduation ceremony and to meet your Jonin instructors. Iruka concludes the class. Hokage office. Kushina had remained quiet since leaving the academy, and despite that she graduated to Genin, she let Jin's teasing get under her skin. Well, I'm happy to hear that you graduated to Genin, you taken your first step as a real ninja. Hinata said. Except I was picked last. Kushina replied quietly. Are you okay, Kushina? Hinata asked out of concern. I'm fine, mother, thanks. Kushina replied calmly. Did Jin tease you again? Hinata asked. I can't stand that guy. Kushina rose up and clenched her fists. He always thinks he's better than everyone, and what's more is that I can never beat him. Kushina said. Well, the two of you are both certainly like your fathers in terms of rivalry. Hinata said. Where is father? I want more training. Kushina said. Your father is out perfecting his new jutsu in the fields, I'm about to bring him refreshments and watch him too. Hinata answered. Where's old lady Tsunade? Kushina asked. She is watching over your father's training. Hinata said. Everyone's busy. Kushina sighed. Why not ask your uncle Neji? Hinata suggested. Oh, I thought he was on a mission. Kushina said. He just came back today, I'm sure he'll continue to train you, after all he favors you. Hinata said. All right, well, can I go? Kushina asked. Try not to stay out late. Hinata replied. I won't. Tell father I said good luck on his training. Kushina rushes out of the office. All right, I get to train with my favorite uncle. Kushina said as she jumps from building to building. Kushina notices a younger boy who appears to be asking for money. Sorry kid, I can't help you, I'm cleaned out. The old man said to the boy. Thank you. The boy bows his head and walks away. Kushina jumps from the building and lands in front of the boy. Why, you're the Lord Hokage's daughter. The boy said in awe. Here, take this, it'll help you and your family. Kushina kindly places 2,000 ryo in the boy's hand. Thank you very much. The boy graciously accepted. Kushina jumps back while waving to a building and continues making her way to the Hyuga household. Hyuga household. Kushina walks in the home of Neji and Tenten in hopes to find either of the two. Uncle Neji, Aunt Tenten wa. Kushina said, walking in the kitchen and dodged a kitchen blade immediately. Good to see you still have your reflexes. Tenten said to a terrified Kushina. Aunt Tenten, why do you always do that? Kushina shouted with the white beady eyes. Well, as long as you have those reflexes, I can rest knowing you'll be safe from danger. Tenten continues to cook. Well, if you say so, where's Uncle Neji? Kushina asked. Out in the back with your cousins, probably training with them. Tenten replied. Ah, I wanted to train with him. Kushina frowned. Oh, don't worry, you know your Uncle Neji can handle all three of you. After all, you are his favorite. Besides, I think your grandfather is there too. Tenten smiled. Well, he's my favorite and so are you, Aunt Tenten. Kushina said. Haha. Well, run along now, I'm making dinner, you're welcome to eat here too. Tenten said. Thanks, see you then. Kushina runs out the kitchen to the back of the house. Kushina makes it to the back and sees Neji is training Rin and Kurumu conversating with their grandfather Hiyashi. Grandfather Hiyashi. Kushina runs to her grandfather's embrace. Hey Kurumu. Kushina said in an annoyed tone. Oh well, if it isn't my other granddaughter. Hiyashi said. So what brings you here, Kushina? Hiyashi asked. I want to train with Uncle Neji, but I'll wait. Kushina said. Well, you came at the right time. I think he was about to train both Kurumu and Rin. I'm sure he wouldn't mind training you too. Hiyashi said. Father, I think Kushina's here. Rin said as he was training. I see. That enough warm up, let's take a break. Neji concluded the one-on-one sparring session. Uncle Neji. Kushina sprinted to her uncle in high spirits. Kushina. Neji drops to his knees and embraces Kushina. I'm starting to think father loves Kushina more than his own daughter. Kurumu said. That's not true. Kushina was first born and spent a lot of time with her. Neji loves you all equal. Hiyashi said. How's my favorite niece? Neji asked. How's my favorite uncle? Kushina replies with the same question. Have you been practicing hard with your Byakugan? Neji asked. Always. Kushina smiled. Good. Both Rin and Kurumu have been making good progress too, and I heard you were picked last like your father to be selected as Genin. Neji said. I know, that's why I came here when I heard you came back so I can get more training. Kushina said. Your father or mother wasn't able to help you? Neji asked. Well, not recently. Father is always trying to perfect this new jutsu while mother usually helps him. Kushina said. I see. So Naruto is still trying on that jutsu. Neji thought. But of course, when I heard you're here I immediately wanted to train with you. Kushina said. Well now, do you want to begin? Neji asked. You bet. Kushina enthused. Right. Okay Rin and Kurumu, break time is over. Neji said. Wait. You're going to take all three of us, father? Kurumu asked. Yeah, that seems like a tall order Uncle Neji. Kushina agreed. Not to worry, I can handle you three. Neji replied. All right if you say so father. Rin said. All right now get ready. Neji stuck into his gentle style pose. Right. Kushina. Rin and Kurumu said while also in pose. Byakugan. Neji activates his Kekkei Genkai. Byakugan. Kushina. Rin and Kurumu also grow bulging veins near the temples of their faces. When Kushina activates her Byakugan, her natural blue eye color changes to the Hyuga lavender eye color. Kushina, Rin and Kurumu dash to Neji and begin to attack with their palms. Neji successfully blocks all incoming palms with his forearms and jumps to avoid Kushina's low kick. 8 trigrams spinning palms. Kurumu jumps and uses her original named move. Neji blocks the first 4 direct palms to the face, then blocks the next spinning 60 palms from head to body. Not bad. Neji praises as he comes back down from the air. There. Rin calculates his aim as he tosses 6 kunai knives to where Neji will be landing. You'll have to do better than that, Rin. Neji uses one arm as a handstand and dodges all kunai knife, then does a aerobic flip. Here I come. Rin quickly dashes and attacks Neji with palm strikes. Gentle fist. Rin stands on a yin-yang and his fist starts to emit chakra. 4 palms, 8 palms, 16 palms, 32 palms, 8 trigrams, 64 palms. Rin attacks with his father's signature move. Incredible, that's my son. Neji thought as he nearly hit by Rin's incoming palms but was still fast enough to block all palms. Shadow Clone Jutsu. Kushina created a shadow clone which alerted Neji. Both Kushina and her shadow clone attacked Neji with striking palms until Kushina and her clone both landed a successful blow to Neji's ribs. Got you, Kushina said. No way. Kurumu thought in awe. Kushina's smile went away when she realizes she only hit Neji's substitution jutsu. Father's fast. Rin thought. Not bad, Uncle Neji, but I won't miss with this move. Kushina opened her palm. What? That can't be. Neji recognizes what Kushina was doing. Kushina's shadow clone creates the Rasengan energy ball on Kushina's open palm. Try this, Rasengan. Kushina dashes to Neji with the energy orb. What technique is that? Kurumu thought. Now's our chance to turn the tables, Kurumu. Rin said. Right. Kurumu agreed and charged with Rin and Kushina. Kushina was getting closer with her Rasengan towards a surprised Neji. Amazing, to think that she knows that move. Guess I got to stop it, otherwise it could be bad. Neji gets in position. Almost there. The Rasengans never lasted this long. Kushina smiles as she gets closer but sees her Rasengan dissolve at the last second. Oh no, Kushina thought. 8 trigrams palm rotation. Neji initiated his defensive attack. Neji creates a chakra force field and attacks Rin, Kurumu and Kushina with 64 palms that created the chakra force field. Once the attack finished, all 3 cousins were laid out on the ground beaten by Neji's palms. Dinner's ready. Tenten called out. That's enough for today, let's eat. Neji announced. They never cease to amaze me, especially Kushina. Neji thought with a smile on his face. You all right, Kushina? Rin offers his hand to help Kushina up. Oh yep, it seems we never learn from Uncle Neji's defenses. Kushina stands up. You can say that again, father is the best. Kurumu said. Well, let's eat, I'm starving. Kushina runs to the kitchen. Kushina. Wait. Rin runs with Kurumu after Kushina. Little did they all know, they were being watched by Sasuke and his son, Jin, from the top of the Hyuga walls. Son, at your level you shouldn't take either of them lightly. Sasuke said. Believe me father, I don't, though I have to admit that Kushina's better than I thought. Jin said. Let's return back to your mother and then it's back to training. Sasuke said. Right. Jin said and disappeared with Sasuke. Here you go, Kushina. Tenten places a plate with Kushina's share. Awesome, I love your stew, Aunt Tenten. Kushina said. I have to say that I am pleased with all of your progress, it seems you all improved a great deal the last time I was here. Neji refers to Rin, Kurumu and Kushina. Well, what did you expect, Neji? After all they are of Hyuga descent. Hiyashi said. True, but still am pleased. Neji admits. And this is coming from the man that used to believe in putting people down. Tenten refers to the young Neji. You're never going to live that down, are you? Neji chuckles silently. Hee hee, I loved the Neji then and I love the Neji now. Tenten kisses Neji's lips. I hate it when they do that in front of us often. Kurumu whispers to Kushina referring about the kiss. Them kissing doesn't bother me as much when I try to sleep. Rin whispers while taking a sip of water. What do you mean? Kushina asked. I'd rather not go into detail. Rin sweats and then Kushina finally realizes what he was talking about. Ew. I didn't want to know that. Kushina whispers more loudly. The horror. Kurumu said. By the way Kushina, when did you learn the Rasengan? Neji asked. Is that the name of that last move you tried on father? Kurumu asked. Well yeah, one day I was watching father demonstrate his jutsus to me, none of them really interested me except for the Rasengan technique. Kushina began. Father showed me how to do it step by step and told me I would need my shadow clone that I learned prior to the Rasengan. Kushina said. So I began to practice on my own since father told me that he learned on his own and of course you can tell I still need more practice though I'm getting close. Kushina said. But of course, father has more jutsu that I haven't seen yet. Kushina said. I had no idea that Uncle Naruto was that great. Kurumu said. What did you expect? He is Hokage Kurumu. Up till now your uncle hasn't been able to demonstrate any of his jutsus to either you or Rin. Neji said. Yeah and he's been practicing on a new jutsu but I have no idea what it is. Kushina said. He's trying to learn a new technique what he calls the Bukuu Jutsu. Neji reveals Naruto's secret. Bukuu Jutsu, what does that mean? Rin asked. It means the power of flight. In short, your uncle is attempting to manipulate his chakra to give him the ability to fly. Tenten defined. That's impossible. I never heard of anybody flying or even try to fly. Kurumu said. Why is father trying to learn this jutsu? Kushina asked. He has two reasons. The first reason is to give you the advantage over your enemies to move freely while airborne since just jumping high has a weakness and second is for when you have an emergency mission, you should be in that place in a matter of minutes not hours or even days. Neji said. Can it really be done? Rin asked. Well we have our doubts since if it's even possible it'll require a lot of chakra and could tire you out faster. Tenten said. Though I admit, it would be useful. Neji said. Fields. Tsunade and Hinata continue to watch Naruto attempt this impossible jutsu. Bukuu Jutsu. Naruto does sky-related hand signs and concentrates his chakra. I feel it, almost there. Naruto thought as he focuses his chakra. I wonder if this jutsu is possible and if can be done. Tsunade said. I have faith in Naruto if anyone could do the impossible it's him. Hinata stands firm in her belief in Naruto. I'm happy to know you have all the faith in the world in Naruto. Tsunade smiles. It's my duty as his wife, I know he can do it. Hinata said. Arg. This certainly takes its toll out of me. Naruto said to himself. Still trying that jutsu of yours, Naruto. Sasuke said as he arrived without being noticed. Hey there Sasuke, what's up? Naruto said putting his training on hold. I'm beginning to wonder if trying this impossible jutsu has kept you from training for our match. Sasuke said. Don't worry, I still been putting in some training, I haven't forgotten our deal. Naruto said. Good. Be sure you're ready by the end of the Chunin exams because that's when we'll settle the score. Sasuke said. That's a deal, Sasuke. Naruto said with confidence. Naruto and Sasuke stared each other down for a moment, Sasuke smirks and leaves the field swiftly. Talk about a long-awaited match, are those two starting to get serious with one another? Tsunade asked. In a competitive sense, Naruto and Sasuke are still best friends but their rivalry is never ending. Hinata said. Hyuga household. Thanks again for the food and training, Uncle Neji and Aunt Tenten. Kushina waves goodbye as she leaves the residence. Don't be afraid to visit often you hear, Kushina. Tenten said. See you at the academy tomorrow, Kushina. Kurumu waves. Bye. Rin and Kurumu. Kushina waved back and leaves. Kushina jumps at a nearby building and starts to make her way home. The Bukuu Jutsu technique wonder if father really could invent such a jutsu. Kushina thought as she continues to jump from building to building. Hokage office. Father. Mother, I'm home. Kushina said while entering home. Welcome home, dear. How was training with your uncle? Hinata asked. Yeah. How did you do, Kushi? Naruto added. I was praised on my training. Uncle Neji's strong, he could take me, Rin and Kurumu down easy. Kushina said. Trust me, your uncle will give anybody a run for their money, I'll tell you. Naruto said. Anyway, I heard you graduated from the academy by Iruka-sensei, congratulations. Naruto kisses Kushina on the forehead. Thanks, daddy. Kushina smiles. We're both extremely proud of you, Kushina, and we have faith you will succeed in life. Hinata said. Thank you both. Now I must get some sleep. I have to be at the academy tomorrow to meet my Jonin instructor. Kushina said. Have a good night and great sleep. We love you, Kushi. Naruto said. Sleep well. Love you, Kushina. Hinata added. The very next morning at 8 am, Kushina and her parents arrives at the academy along with her fellow graduates and their parents in the genin level. Is everyone present? Iruka asked. Yes, Iruka-sensei, we're all here. Naruto impatiently said. Cool it, Naruto, you know the routine here. Sakura said. Still as impatient as ever, even as Hokage. Iruka said with a nostalgic smile. Sorry, I was out of line, forgive me, sensei. Naruto said out of fear of Sakura's wrath. Oh father. Kushina thought. What's with you, you're never impatient unless you got something important to do. Kiba said. Well, being Hokage isn't exactly a walk in the park, I have to go through a lot of paperwork, send people on missions and still make time to train. Naruto complained. Well duh, you should have known it wasn't going to be easy, that's why I would have refused the job if offered to me cause it's a drag. Shikamaru said. Besides, why do you need to keep training for Naruto, we've been at peace for 12 years. Ino said. That's the problem, peace doesn't last forever, better safe than sorry. Besides, Sasuke and I still got a score to settle. Naruto replied to Ino and looks at Sasuke, who smirked. Looks like Sasuke and Naruto aren't the only intense rivals, look at those two. Sai said to Kakashi, referring to Jin and Kushina as they glare each other down. Well now, before you all meet your Jonin instructors and your team, I want to introduce to you all 2 new transfer students from the Hidden Sand Village. Iruka said. Transfer genin from the Hidden Sand, but that means. Tenma wondered. So they did exactly what they said they were going to do, huh? Tamari thought. Who do you think it is, Rin? Kurumu asked. I'm getting chills down my spine. Chorizo shivered. Kids, welcome the Cage Gaara and the former Mizukage Lady Terumi with their kids who are twins from the Hidden Sand. Iruka introduces as Gaara, his wife Mei Terumi, his son Tora and his daughter Lisa, who is the only sibling that carries a sand gourd. Lisa Terumi is a feminine version of Gaara with the kind hair resembling her mother that reaches shoulder length. Lisa has more personality of her mother, meaning she does retain a little bit of a stoic personality like Gaara but is not above being a little flirty like Mei. Tora Terumi greatly resembles Gaara in almost every way, both in looks and skill. Tora's personality is more serious and cunning to make him all the more like Gaara, and has nothing of Mei Terumi but somehow gets along with his mother more. Bingo! Knew it was them. Tenma said. Tenma, do you know those two? Kushina asked. Yep. They're my cousins, and the Cage and former Mizukage are my aunt and uncle. Tenma said. Wait, how come you never told me about your cousins and that both your aunt and uncle are Cages? Kushina said. Well, you don't ask so I don't tell. Tenma said. Hey Rin, check out the girl, she's pretty cute. Kazuharu referring to Lisa. I wouldn't be so forward about it, not only is she strong but her twin brother who could be overprotective is even stronger than she is. Rin replied using his Byakugan to analyze the two. Kids, this is Tora and Lisa Terumi of the Sand Village, starting now they will be a part of your comrades. Iruka said. Gaara, what are you doing here? Naruto said. Naruto, it's been a long time, my friend. Gaara smiles and extends his hand out of friendship. Good to see you too, Gaara. Naruto shakes Gaara's hand. Wait, does my father know him? Kushina asked. Beats me. Tenma answered. Tora and Lisa approach Tenma and Kushina since Tenma is their cousin and they aren't familiar with everyone else. So Uncle Gara actually sends you two after all, huh? Tenma said. Spare me, we came here with no choice, I was happy where I was at. Tora walks off to his own solitude. What's his problem? Kushina thought. Never mind him, he's in one of his moods. I'm Lisa and you are. Lisa politely introduces herself to Kushina. Oh, I'm Kushina Uzumaki. Kushina said. Kushina's dad is the Hokage of this village and my best friend, though she can be quite a drag. Tenma added. Oh really, how cool. Lisa said. Tenma, you didn't tell me that your academy had some cute boys here. Lisa said. Now that your two new comrades are introduced, come get your genin forehead protectors so we can announce teams. Uruka presented the handbands that were on the table. All the genin took their first headband with enthusiasm except for Jin and Tenma, who showed no emotion, and Tora, who reluctantly takes the headband. Gara, I know it's a drag to live here, but could Tora be less enthused? Shikamaru said, watching the way his nephew takes his leaf headband. Tora was not happy when I relayed that he and Lisa would be staying here for the best training possible. Gara said. Why is that? Why wouldn't he like it here? Naruto asked. Well, Tora made friends despite inheriting the Shukaku from Gara and simply did not like the idea of leaving them. Mei said. So he's a lot like Kushina. Hinata said. He is. Mei asked. Kushina inherited the 9 tails and has made many friends, so I imagine it would be hard for her too if we told her she had to switch villages. Naruto said. Okay, now for the reason you're all here, now that we have 15 genin, it's time to announce your Jonin senseis as well as each of your teammates. Uruka said, giving cue to the attending Jonin as he steps back. Rock Lee is the first Jonin to announce his team. Morning rookies, I'm Rock Lee and I'm about to announce the members of Team Rock Lee. Rock Lee looks at his list. The following names please come towards me. Rock Lee said. Please don't choose me, please don't choose me. Kushina nervously thought, judging Rock Lee's appearance. Rin Hyuga, Sia Yamanaka and Lisa Terumi, you are my new subordinates. Rock Lee declares. Awesome, I have a cute guy on my team. Lisa thought. Well, Rin's okay, but I wish I had Jin on my team. Sia thought. Really? Girls? Rin thought, feeling annoyed. Kakashi closes his book and comes next to declare his team. The following names I want on my team are Jin Uchiha, Tora Terumi and Kakashi said. As long as I'm not with that jerk Jin or Tora, I'm just fine. Kushina thought as she pleads to not be on the same team with either names she mentioned. Kushina Uzumaki. Kakashi announced as Jin and Kushina made expressions of shock and disgust while Tora makes no expression. What? Kushina shouts. HMPH, now my training will be more of a joke. Jin scoffs. No way, I can't be on the same team as this jerk. Kushina pleads her case to Kakashi. Tora I can get along with, but putting me with her is just going to slow us down. Jin said. Now settle down you two, you will all know the true meaning of teamwork. Kakashi said, restraining the two. Kushina, if you don't want to be on that team, I'll trade you. Sia calls out. Please do. Kushina said. All decisions are final. Kakashi cuts off deal. Well, this certainly brings back memories. Sakura recalls. Yeah, no kidding. Naruto agrees. I still ache from the day I was partnered with you. Sasuke said. What was that? Is that why we became best friends, Sasuke? Naruto snapped. Relax, loser, it was just a joke, though you will always be second to me even if you are Hokage. Sasuke purposely provokes Naruto more. Why I oughta. Naruto gets restrained by Kiba, Shikamaru and Choji. What a moron, you still let Sasuke get to you. Shikamaru said. Shikamaru, I think you're up. Tamari said as Shikamaru lets go of Naruto to come up to announce his team to train under him. Alright, it's a drag, but here's who I came up with to be in my team. I choose Asuma Jr., Obito Hatake and Kurumu Hyuga. Shikamaru announced. Great. I get two boring and quiet people. Kurumu thought. What a team. Ino praises Shikamaru. What do you expect? You know Shikamaru would pick only the most talented of ninja to work with. Tamari said. Neji walks up to announce his team with a confident smile. Representing my squad I choose Kazuharu Yamanaka, Karasuma Inuzuka and Tenmanara. Neji said. Not a bad choice. Sai said. Last is my team. Kiba comes up. Jet Li, Chorizo Akamichi and Shigeo Aburame. Kiba said. I may be picked last but I will certainly be first in the Chunin exams. Jet Li said. That's my son. Glad to hear it. Rock Lee said. If only Guy Sensei was here and not on a mission, he'd congratulate me. Rock Lee said. As we conclude the ceremony, all you new-fledged ninjas take the time to know your instructors personally before training day, congratulations. Uruka said. Well, you know the routine, I'm going to burrow your kids for a while, they'll be back shortly. Kakashi said to Naruto, Sakura and Sasuke. Kushina, listen well and get to know Kakashi-sensei. Hinata said. That goes for you too, Jin. Sakura said. Behave son, and you too, Lisa. Gaara said. They'll be fine darling. Mei said. Kakashi and the other Jonin leave the academy with the genin to different locations to chat. So what will you do while you wait, Gaara? Naruto asked. We'll find something to keep us occupied. Gaara answered. You know you and Mei are welcome to come visit with us at home. Hinata said. Yeah, come. Naruto agrees. What do you say? Gaara asked his wife. I don't have a problem. Mei replied. Very well, we'll follow you. Gaara said. Academy rooftop. This where we'll get to know each other. Kakashi said as Jin, Kushina and Tora each have a long distance between each other while sitting. This is going to be tough, still nothing I haven't seen. Kakashi thought about the situation. As Jin and Kushina already know, I mentored your parents and yet we really haven't had much of a chance to know each other. Kakashi said. My hobbies are to read books from the late great Jiraiya of the Sannin and that's just about it. Kakashi said. Let's start with you, Jin. What is your goal in life? What do you like and what don't you like? Kakashi interviews Jin first. My goal is simple. I want to restore my long-lost clan. Jin said. You don't plan on revenge, do you? Kakashi said. Revenge? No, I simply want to increase the reputation of my clan's forgotten name. Why do you ask? Jin asks suspiciously. Oh, nothing. Please continue. Kakashi said. So I guess neither Sakura or Sasuke mentioned anything of Itachi. Kakashi thought. I really have nothing that I really like other than strictly training, and as for what or who I don't like is the girl sitting next to me. Jin said, which caused Kushina to turn red in the face from anger. Calm yourself, Kushina, you may go next. Kakashi stops Kushina from yelling. Grr. Fine, my goal is to be strong like father and to be kind like my mother. Kushina tries to hold her tongue. From what I understand, your dad has never beat my dad in a fight, so it'd be a waste of time to look up to him. Jin provokes intentionally. That's it, Kakashi-sensei, I don't like Jin, as a matter of fact I hate him, I cannot stand him, why put us together? Kushina snaps. This is interesting. Kakashi thought, watching Jin and Kushina bicker. All right, settle down you two before things get even more uglier. Kakashi said. Fine. Kushina backs down. Well, Jin. Kakashi said. Fine. Jin said. Excuse us, Tora. Now if you'll tell us what your goal is along with your likes and dislikes. Kakashi said. Very well. I have yet to decide on my goals as of this moment. I don't have hobbies and I could care less if anybody likes me or not in this wretched village, I'm in it for myself. Tora said. Talk about a buzzkill. What's really his problem? Kushina thought. It seems me what all your problems are is that you all lack teamwork and any sort of friendship, which is extremely vital to being a shinobi and is something you will all work on. Kakashi said. I warn you that many genin have tried and failed my tests to be shinobi because they lack teamwork. Kakashi said. Tomorrow's training will be rigorous, so plan to sleep early, skip breakfast and be here at 5 in the morning. Kakashi said. That's a little early, don't you think? Kushina said. There will be times that you will have to anticipate an attack from the enemy ninja at any time, even early hours, so you will have to get used to it. Kakashi replied. Fine by me. Tora said. No problem. Jin said. Good. See you all here at 5 in the morning, dismissed. Kakashi disappears in a cloud of smoke. I'll look forward to seeing what you can do. Jin looks at Tora and jumps from the academy building to home. Never mind that punk, he thinks he's so great. Kushina said to Tora, who ignores her by jumping off from the rooftop to the ground. Hey wait, what's your problem? Kushina also jumps off to the ground and follows Tora. Go away, I have no time for you. Tora said as he walks. Don't get the wrong idea, this way takes me home. Kushina said. Hokage office. Well, looks like Kakashi-sensei has his hands full with our children. Naruto said. Naruto, I apologize for my son's behavior. He's normally friendly and it'll take some getting used to in a new village. Gaara said. Don't sweat it, Gaara, if he's anything like you he'll get along with us just fine. Naruto said. I promise as long as Tora and Lisa are in this village, I'll look out for them. Naruto said. Thank you, Naruto. Gaara said. Father, I'm home. Kushina walks in with Tora quietly following. Tora, where is your sister? May asked. Lisa told me she was going to wait at Aunt Emery's. Tora said. I see, then let's meet up with your sister. Gaara said and then turns his head to Naruto. May and I will leave first thing in the morning. Until we meet again, I leave my children in your care. Gaara said. You can count on me. Naruto said. It was nice talking with you, see you at the Chunin exams. May said to Hinata. Always a pleasure, be safe on the way home. Hinata replied. Watch after my son, darling. May places her hand on Kushina's head. I'll try, Lady Mizukage. Kushina bows her head as a sign of respect for the former Mizukage. Gaara, May and Tora leave the Hokage office to go to the Nara household to meet up with Lisa. So how was it getting to know Kakashi-sensei? Naruto said. Well, there wasn't much to know other than to read books from Jiraiya-sensei. Kushina said. Yep, sounds like him, but trust me, you'll love him. He's an excellent teacher and he'll keep you in line. Naruto said. Really? Kushina asked. Well, yeah, after all, your grandfather the fourth Hokage trained him and he trained me, he's the best. Naruto said. I wish I would have known Grandpa Minato and Grandma Kushina. Kushina lowers her head. Oh Kushina. Hinata thought as she senses sadness within Kushina. Hey, cheer up Kushi, someday you will meet your grandparents, so smile and do your best for them. Naruto places his hand on Kushina's head and kisses her forehead. That's right, sweetie. Never forget your father and I love you with all our heart. We know that you'll be a great kunoichi and the future hero of our village. Hinata holds Kushina with Naruto. Thank you, mother and father. Kushina embraces her parents. Jin Uchiha walks the streets with both hands in his pocket and with look of confidence as he prepares to show off his skills. Father and mother told me Kakashi's training is tough, we'll just see. Jin thought while jumping up to the rooftop of the academy. Upon arriving at the rooftop, Jin sees that Tora was the first to make it at the meeting spot. Oh, it's you. Jin said as Tora slowly looks at Jin. This better not be a waste of my time and you better not get in my way. Tora said. Is that so? I was about to say the same to you. Jin smirked. Father told me that his father uses sand-style techniques, creating the ultimate defense provided that he carries a sand gourd. Jin thought, analyzing Tora. However, he possesses no gourd of any sort. What's his style? Jin thought. Oh, tired, so tired. Kushina's voice was heard from below the academy. Jin glances over and sees Kushina rub her eyes. Well, look, the loser finally arrives. Jin said. Shut up, I'm not tired. Kushina quickly shakes her head to wake up and jumps to the rooftop. See, I'm awake. Kushina said. HMPH, just don't get in my way, loser. Jin said. That's my line, get over yourself. Kushina yells with the white beady eyes. So much for training at 5 in the morning sharp. Tora said. Suddenly a small cloud of dust appeared and out came Kakashi. Sorry I'm a little late, Had to clean my mask. Kakashi makes a excuse. So now that you're here, sensei, do we train? Kushina enthused. Yes, we will begin training, follow me. Kakashi led the way. Training grounds. Kakashi leads Kushina, Jin and Tora to the very same training grounds where he first trained Naruto, Sasuke and Sakura. Kakashi-sensei, where are we? Kushina asked. This is the very same training ground where I trained both of your father and Jin's parents. Kakashi replied. Tora and Jin both survey the area to get a feel of the battleground. What is our training? Tora demanded as Kakashi pulls out 2 strings of yarn each with a small bell. Your training is simple, all you have to do is swipe the bells from me at all cost by lunchtime. Kakashi said. Sensei, you only have 2 and there's 3 of us, but that means. Kushina said. Only 2 of you will each eat lunch in front of the one left out, therefore must quit as ninja. That's if any of you are worthy of taking the bells from me. Kakashi said. Then this isn't training, it's a waste of my time. Jin said. This isn't as easy as just a game of hide and seek, you will have to fight me as if you want to kill me, since that'll be the only way you can ever hope to take these bells. Kakashi said. Fine, if that's what it takes. Tora said coldly. Oh, I think you'll find that this won't be easy. Kakashi said. First step is to spread out, camouflage yourselves, and I'll find you one by one and test you. Kakashi laid out the rules. Got that, Kakashi said as Kushina, Jin and Tora stood quietly. Disperse. Kakashi initiated the training as the team quickly jumped in different locations. Kakashi stood alone for 5 minutes in order to give the others time to cloak themselves before disappearing to find his nearest target at the west side of the forest. This chakra belongs to Tora. Kakashi thought. Tora jumps from the top of the tree to land in front of Kakashi. Looks like you're first, try to take my bells using taijutsu. Kakashi said. Tora said no word and just dashed, then started to attack. Kakashi blocks a kick to the body, a head kick and a punch to the face from Tora. Not bad. Kakashi begins to attack. Kakashi uses his forearm to hit Tora in the stomach, uppercuts Tora with the other hand to send him airborne and reappears behind him to kick Tora. After landing from a hard blow, Tora seems unfazed. Impressive. Kakashi thought. Now I want you to show me with your ninjutsu. Kakashi said. As you wish. Tora started weaving an unfamiliar hand sign. What's this? Kakashi failing to recognize the signs. Smoke style. Smoke cloak jutsu. Tora became shrouded in smoke, then disappears to become near invisible. Smoke style. Kakashi repeated since he was unaware that smoke style exists. So this is his very own Kekkei Genkai. Kakashi said and realizes a baseball slide kick from Tora at the last second. Kakashi jumps and kicks Tora at the back of his head but realizes he kicked a clone. A smoke clone. Kakashi said, then senses Tora on a nearby tree branch weaving another hand sign. Smoke style. Smoke cloud jutsu. Tora creates smoke in the palm of his hand and tosses it at Kakashi. So fast. Kakashi said. The smoke cloud moved at lightning speed and hit Kakashi, which made him disappear and reappear from above in the air from the same spot he contacted with the smoke cloud. You're mine. Tora jumped from the branch while reaching for the bells. Tora touched Kakashi but realized it was a substitution jutsu. Not bad, but you still need training. Kakashi chops Tora on the back of his neck. Tora lands roughly on the ground in an unconscious state. Elsewhere in the north side of the forest is where Kushina is present. Byakugan. Kushina stimulates veins near her temples. Now where's Kakashi-sensei? Kushina searches the area. Get lost, loser. Jin walks around the corner. You get lost, I was here first. Kushina shouts. Get out or I'll make you leave. Jin warns. Bring it. Kushina gets in gentle fist stance. Kushina runs to Jin, who seems to not make a move, and throws the first palm but goes through Jin and smashes against the tree. OWWW. Arg, that was dirty. Kushina turns and sees Jin disappears. Even the Byakugan should see though that genjutsu, but you let your dislike for Jin get the best of you. Kakashi comes from around corner. Kushina charges to attack Kakashi only to get a kick from behind by Kakashi. I didn't say start, did I? Kakashi said. Let's go. Kushina feeling hot-headed. Come at me using your taijutsu. Kakashi said. Start. Kakashi said. Kushina began throwing palms directed to the face which was all blocked with one hand. Huh, Kushina said as Kakashi takes out a book and begins to read. Why you? Don't take me lightly. Kushina throws a palm. Kakashi protected himself from palms and kicks from Kushina with just one hand. You're too open. Kakashi hits Kushina on the side of her head with the book and headbutts Kushina down. Now try your ninjutsu. Kakashi said. That does it. Multi-shadow clone jutsu. Kushina creates 50 shadow clones. Shadow clones, huh? Doesn't surprise me. Kakashi thought. Kushina's shadow clones attacked from all directions but all missed and were being eliminated by Kakashi. Kakashi deflects kunai knives thrown by Kushina's shadow clones, which was meant for diversion. A diversion from the fake one, which means the real one is. Kakashi said, looking behind. Kakashi sees Kushina coming from behind with a Rasengan energy ball. What? Kakashi said. Rasengan. Kushina hits Kakashi, which turns out to be a substitution jutsu. Where'd he? Kushina looks around. I can't feel him. Kushina said and then realizes where Kakashi is hiding. Kakashi comes from below the ground behind Kushina and sends Kushina flying using his legs. As Kushina continues to move horizontally, Kakashi appears and hits her on her back with his elbow. Kushina deactivates her Byakugan, loses her breath and lies motionless from Kakashi's assault. Very good. To think you already know the Rasengan technique, you're every bit of your father. Kakashi said to the unconscious Kushina. Now it's time to find Jin Uchiha. Kakashi disappears. Kakashi walks openingly in the south side of the forest in search of Jin. Jin's chakra is strong here. Kakashi said to himself, then turns his head to see 3 kunai knives aim for his head from a tree. It appeared Kakashi had little time to react as the kunai impaled his chest and head. All right, got him. Jin said. Jin then realized it was only a dummy of Kakashi that was struck by kunai. Your aim was correct but your timing was terrible. Kakashi appears behind Jin. Gasp. Jin was spooked and jumped quickly from tree to tree. Better than I thought. Jin thought as he was catching his breath. And you're slow. Kakashi again appears behind Jin as Jin slowly shifts his eyes. Jin spun around for a head kick and hit nothing but air. Damn. Jin said. Still a waste of your time, Jin. Kakashi once again appears behind a overwhelmed Jin. Don't mock me. Jin turns and slides to kick Kakashi in his knees. Child's play. Kakashi jumps and stomps on Jin's ribs. Jin handsprings himself up and jumps to kick Kakashi's face with both feet. Kakashi leans back and knees Jin's back, causing pain to Jin. Damn it, I will get those bells. Jin tries to swipe the bells in vain. I told you, you need to fight for it. Kakashi clenches his fist and throws a punch. In catches Kakashi's punch and also swings a punch to Kakashi. Kakashi was on the defensive of Jin's punches and kicks. Good taijutsu but needs work, now show me your ninjutsu. Kakashi said. Fine, you'll love this. Jin weaving fire style hand signs. Fire style. Flame dragon jutsu. Jin releases a flame in dragon form. Pretty advanced move, but. Kakashi weaving a water style hand sign. Still weak in comparison. Water style. Water dragon jutsu. Kakashi releases a water in dragon form. Kakashi's water dragon devoured Jin's flame dragon easily and also attacked Jin. What? Jin said. Don't let your guard down. Kakashi weaves a fire style sign. No. Jin weaves another fire style sign. Fire style. Fireball jutsu. Kakashi and Jin both unleash raging flames. Both fireball jutsu collided for a short time, but it was clear that Kakashi's fireball jutsu was superior. Meet me at the center of the forest. Kakashi disappears. Hokage office. Aw man, this stinks. If I'd known that I have to deal with boring paperwork, I would have changed my mind to be Hokage. Naruto complained while stamping papers. Well now, Bet that you have second thoughts about your dream after all. Tsunade teased. Oh, give it a rest, the least you could have done was warn me. Naruto replied. Oh Naruto, well this was your dream and I would have never let you give up on it if you tried. Hinata said. Ha ha, guess you're right. Naruto smiles, then hears a knock. Could you get that, love? Naruto said. Hinata answers the door and greets a grown-up Konohamaru. Oh Konohamaru, you're back already. Hinata said. Hey sis, yeah, came with some intel as requested. Konohamaru said. Well, what you got? Naruto said. It seems as though the rumors of the Sound Village are not yet confirmed, I think they're up to something. Konohamaru reports. And this is based on a hunch. Naruto said. So far there's no motive yet, but I think it's wise that we keep a tight rein of their actions. Konohamaru said. Well, we can't just confront the village over something that may or may not happen. Naruto closes his eyes with his hands closed together in front of him. Oh my, Hinata said. But this is the Sound Village, a village created by Orochimaru long ago. Naruto said. What are the rumors of the Sound Village? Tsunade said. Well, rumors has it that several ninja are planning an attack on either the village hidden in the clouds or the village hidden in the sand, and who knows, they could target us next. Konohamaru said. How can you be sure? There hasn't been any sinister activity from that village since Orochimaru was present, and even if there was, it's not something we can't handle. Tsunade said. You're right, and here I thought it's been deserted since then, we can never be too sure. Naruto said. How do you suppose we handle it? Konohamaru said. We need to treat it as though the village poses no threat. For now we'll monitor the village quietly, and unless you're in trouble you are not to engage. Naruto said. Take a break Konohamaru for a while, I'll send you with a squad to help monitor the area and provide you the backup if needed when the time comes. Naruto dismisses Konohamaru. Call when you need me. Konohamaru disappears. What do you think, Naruto? Hinata asked out of concern. Don't you worry Hinata, this is just a precaution in case something does happen. Naruto said. I'm not worried about that, I mean what do you think of Kushina is going through this moment? Hinata said. If I know Kakashi-sensei, he's probably making her angry. Naruto said. Training grounds. Kakashi stands still in the middle of the forest in wait of Kushina, Jin and Tora. Guess I riled them up. Kakashi said, noticing the frustration in the faces of the three as they run towards him. I got you now, Kushina said, coming from the north. Don't get so. Jin coming from the south. Do not make a mockery out of me. Tora coming in from the west. Kushina, Jin and Tora land a single hard punch at the same time on a shadow clone of Kakashi, which causes them to punch amongst themselves. Jin's fist meets with Kushina's face, Kushina's fist meets with Tora's face, and Tora's fist meets with Jin's face. You jerk, what was that for? Huh? Kushina shouts at Jin. Get out of my face, as if you're even worth a beating. Jin shouts back and turns to Tora. And you got some nerve for striking me. Jin said. Don't you dare turn your back on me. Kushina blindsides Jin with a heavy palm to the side of his face. Why you? Jin retaliates with a head kick to Kushina. This isn't good, Kakashi observes from a tree. Kushina and Jin began trading blows as they release their hatred of each other. You two will not disregard me. Tora weaving his smoke style hand signs. Smoke style. Smoke shift jutsu. Tora shifts while surrounded by smoke to the middle between Kushina and Jin in a second. So fast. Jin thought. How did he? Kushina thought. Tora punches Jin in the face and kicks Kushina in the face at the same time. Damn you. Kushina clenches her fist and swings at Tora. Tora, Kushina and Jin fought each other, showing that clearly they're not meant to mix. Finally, Kakashi steps in, initiating a high wind storm out of anger and disappointment in his team. That's enough out of all of you. Kakashi forcibly breaks up the fight between the three young ninjas by grabbing Jin and Tora's wrists, then slamming them to the ground. Kakashi-sensei. Kushina realizes Kakashi is not playing around. You're lucky I'm cutting the three of you slack for your parents' sake, or I would have disqualified you where you stand. Kakashi said. Like it or not, you three are a team, damn it, and you need to start acting like one. Do I make myself clear? Kakashi said. Yes, sensei. Kushina replied as Jin and Tora reluctantly replied. You will all have one more chance to make it right, and if you fail, your days of being ninja are over. Kakashi said. Kushina, since you were the first to initiate a fight with your teammates, you will watch Jin and Tora eat their lunches before you all get your second chance. Kakashi said. What? Are you serious? No fair, sensei. Kushina outrages. Not an option. Jin and Tora, you will eat your lunch in front of Kushina, and if either one of you decide to feel sorry for her or feed her, you two will be disqualified. Kakashi said. Kakashi hands out 2 homemade boxed lunches to Jin and Tora in front of a hungry Kushina. Come find me when you are ready. Kakashi swiftly jumps away. Moments later, both Jin and Tora began to eat their lunches, not knowing if they should enjoy Kushina's agony or to feel sorry for her. This is no problem. Kakashi-sensei thinks it's a punishment for me, but no problem. Kushina tries to bluff, but the growling of her stomach gave her away. Except, I'm starving, Kushina thought while holding her stomach. Jin and Tora started to not feel comfortable about eating in front of Kushina like she's a hungry animal. Here, take it. Don't think of it as an olive branch, but I'll need your best or you'll simply slow me down. Jin offers his boxed lunch to Kushina. Jin, why? Kushina asked. You realize what you're giving up, don't you? Tora said. Give it a rest, it's not like we're being watched. He said to come find him when ready. Jin said. Kushina, take the lunch and get energized, I need you. Jin being out of character with Kushina. Jin. Kushina said. Even after all the times we fight? Kushina said. Look, it's no big deal now, hurry and eat so we can get through this. Jin said. Don't concern yourself, Jin. Tora said. Why not? She clearly needs food. Jin responded. Because it will be I who gives up my lunch. Tora replied as he offers his boxed lunch to Kushina. Why do you care? Jin said. It's like you said, we're not being watched and clearly we are no match for him one-on-one, so our chances of success might be greater if we were to team up and work together. Tora said. But only if we're at our best. Tora grabs Kushina's wrist and places his boxed lunch on Kushina's hand. Jin. Tora, thank you. Kushina sobs and takes one bite of her lunch. Well, what do we have here? Kakashi comes from around the corner of a nearby tree. Kushina quickly spits out her food and drops the boxed lunch immediately out of fear. Kakashi-sensei, Kushina said, did I understand correctly when I heard that you were not being watched and so the three of you willingly defied me? Kakashi began to anger. All right, I'll say it. Regardless of the fact Kushina can seriously work my nerves, I can't treat her as an animal by eating in front of her. Jin said. Jin. Kushina said. If teamwork is important, then we have to pull together, not apart, otherwise it defeats the purpose of even trying. Tora said. Tora. Kushina said. So if you want to disqualify us, then do so. Jin and Tora simultaneously said. That's right. You said the three of us are a team and they stood up for me, I will do the same for them, disqualify me too. Kushina yelled. Fine. I hereby inform you three that, you pass. Kakashi smiles. WHWH what? Kushina stammered. We pass. Tora repeated. That's right, you all pass. Kakashi said. How? Why? Jin said. I saw that you three finally realized what teamwork is about. So both you and Tora broke the rules and offered your aid to your teammate Kushina, knowing if you were caught you'd be disqualified. Kakashi explained. Furthermore, I'm deeply impressed with all of your jutsu at such an advanced level, which makes me believe you'll be a stronger bunch than even your parents. Kakashi admits. Yes, we pass, we pass. Kushina leaps in joy as Jin and Tora hide their excitement with a smile. And in turn, it seems like you three have begun a bond and you don't even know it. Kakashi said. What? Don't get carried away, sensei. Jin and Tora are still jerks. Kushina blushes. Yeah, don't get carried away. Jin said. Jin and Kushina again began to bicker with Tora staying out of it, and Kakashi watches with a smile. Reminds me a lot of those two. Kakashi thought as he imagined Naruto and Sasuke bickering the same way as their descendants. Sound Village. Elsewhere far from the village hidden in the leaf is the Sound Village in what appears to be a destroyed temple. It's been a long time since I stepped foot in this village, reminds me ever so much about your late father, Lord Orochimaru. Kabuto in his Orochimaru fused form said. With Kabuto stood a younger version of Orochimaru, his son Oranza. Oranza is the son of Orochimaru who was tank bred by Kabuto and Orochimaru in a lab experiment that was started 15 years ago at the original hideout in the Sound Village 3 years prior to when it was destroyed at the time Naruto, Sakura and Jiraiya had infiltrated. Oranza inherited Orochimaru's strength and power since Orochimaru himself provided some of his cells and blood on a corpse that would create his technical son. Orochimaru and Kabuto had abandoned the destroyed hideout while Oranza was still in works progress in a tank that was hidden in a small bunker that was below the hideout. For each year that passed in the tank, Oranza grew older and finally departs from the tank at the age of 15. My father. Oranza silently but coldly said. Oranza opens his eyes rapidly to fire a red energy beam from his pupils to completely obliterates the remains of the hideout with ease. My what a temper. Kabuto commented. You will take me to my father's murderer for I will show him true pain, you understand Kabuto? Oranza demanded in an angry tone. In due time Lord Oranza in due time, but first we have to eliminate the Hidden Leaf Village's allies before we enter the Hidden Leaf itself. Kabuto said. Before we depart to our mission, we must acquire elite ninja with a Kekkei Genkai and several common ninja as your pawns, you will not have to get your hands dirty. Kabuto said. This better not be a waste of my time because know this, I will destroy you myself if you make me wait for long. Oranza warned. Yes Lord Oranza, after all patience is a virtue if you want to make all 5 nations subject to your every whim. Kabuto said as he struggles to not shiver. Very well, if these ninja fail your life ends. Oranza bringing fear into the eyes of Kabuto. Not only does he have Lord Orochimaru's full power as his base power but has many other surprises including the ability to harness his chakra to completely eradicate everything in his sight as I just witnessed. Kabuto thought as he stares at the shaved land where the hideout used to be. Oranza is even more powerful than either his father, myself or any possessor of the Rinnegan and Sharingan Kekkei Genkai. Kabuto gulps slowly. As you wish, Lord Oranza. Kabuto bows his head.